What up, though, Pride Nation? Welcome back to another field review podcast show. Man, oh man, people, I'm just happy the draft is over. I'm not even sure what to think about what happened this past draft with all these damn comp picks, but I'm glad it's over. I lost a lot of sleep and I ain't caught up yet. But that's neither nor there. We are in the building today to talk some Detroit Lions. I am joined by a guest today, a subscriber who has been supporting me and supporting the Detroit Lions for probably longer than he should have been giving more support to. That is one Mr. Motor City Thanos. What up, though, sir?
What up, though? Let's get it.
Now, listen, let me just say, man, we gonna have some fun today. Obviously, it's a good time to have some serious reaction and talk about some things. Donald is better than Sap. Here he already started with this BS, man. Obviously, boy, Andrew, boy, look at this, man. Donald is better than Sap. Have a good stream, man. Appreciate that, but no, Warren Sapp is 100% better than Aaron Donald. Whatever. We got Angelo in the building. Andrew's in the building. One Pride 40. Troy is in the building. Motown Football is in the building. D. Reese, God, Coffee, and Football. Don 19. Looney Tune, One Funky Lions fan. Detroit Madam. We have Old Timer Dave. And if I missed you, I do apologize. We got a lot to cover. Man, first things first, obviously the draft is in the book. Motor City Thanos. Oh, you got to mute that. There we go. All right. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can still hear the video in the back. You got to mute the video.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. I got it.
All right. So, first things first, give me your initial reaction to the entire draft. I mean, we're going to go pick by pick, and then we'll go overall. Your initial reaction to the first overall pick. Penny Sewell, what are your thoughts on that?
I was ecstatic about the Penny Sewell pick. Honestly, that was actually the exact guy I wanted for the draft. The funny part is that initially that wasn't the first player I was going after, but after listening to you guys throughout the weeks leading up to the draft and just kind of sitting back and thinking about it myself, like, yeah, considering the fact that Jared Goff is our quarterback, it'd probably be better to work on that line and just, tap that line off altogether, just so when Goff is gone, we got to plug in the next guy. That offensive line is already good to go. So I love the Penny Sewell pick. I actually was glad I was the only person in the house when we drafted him, because my wife probably would have kicked me out as loud as I was.
So do you believe that the Sewell pick was more about Jared Goff?
No, not necessarily. I'm just saying, since we have Jared Goff,
okay,
having that offensive line that's just a really good offensive line, maybe even dominant offensive line, will help him be more successful since we have him as our quarterback currently.
Got it. Okay. Now we got a few more people that's joining us in there. Antonio Jenkins is in the building. Dr. Paparoni, Zeke's 2612. We got D-Map Zooms. We got Nick Kerr in the building. Jack Frost has joined us. Eno in the building. They rolling in there. You can hate me now. Mackenzie's in the building. So this is my initial reaction to the pick. It was what I thought they should have did that made the most sense. It was the only thing that they could have made. Now, I've seen a lot of reports come out that talk about, we could have got ourselves a quarterback if it had been one there, because they considered the quarterback. No, they didn't. He literally said that there were 3 players that they had rated high on their board. One of the other positions were at the same spot, i.e. tackle. So, and then the other one he's not going to discuss. So that tells me it wasn't a quarterback. Why? Because one fell to you. You didn't touch him. And then he talked about why he didn't touch him. But my initial reaction when they first took the offensive tackle, I just said, yep, sensible, logical, smart move. And it wasn't our biggest need. We had other bigger needs than that. And so I was happy to see them say, you know what, let's complete a unit, which is funny because afterwards he said, what? We felt it was necessary to feed the beast, which was our best unit with our offensive line. And so we decided to add to that to secure that line for futures to come. It just makes sense. And so I'm digging what they're doing. What was your initial reaction to day 2 pick of Levi Onwuzurike? Hope I said that right. Hope I said it right.
You're a better man than me because I didn't know way in heck I was going to try to pronounce that. As far as Levi goes.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better. But what was your reaction to that pick?
Man, I'm like I said off camera. My initial reaction, man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be 100 with it. It was scorched earth because I was pissed because it was primarily more so the fact that it just caught me way off balance. Like, why would you guys decide to go? Like, I'm not even mad that they went D tackle. I'm mad that they went D tackle so early in the draft. And it's like, because, you know, I felt like there was more pressing needs you could have attacked. Wide receiver, safety, you know, like one of those positions probably would have been better to me versus going after a D tackle. I pretty much would have preferred they went one of those routes. Linebacker, like you could have went one of those routes. I think one of those three positions would have been better. But I understand it, man. They're trying to, you know, solidify the trenches on both sides of the ball. So after sitting on it for a while, I'm like, all right, you know, it is what it is.
Well, my initial reaction to it is I don't see why we need a D tackle. I looked at our roster and I'm like, well, I don't see a D tackle. And then that's where that's for a later question that it became a reality on what it is that they saw. And so some things started coming together and making a lot of sense to me at that point to where I was like, okay, plus I'm going to be honest, I'm still just meh on Levi because there's some things that I saw in film with him that I don't necessarily like. I mean, listen, it's not all bad people. I'm not acting like it's all bad, but I'm damn sure not acting like this is just a home run hit of a pick for me personally, because it was just like, yo, this guy, to me, my belief is when you drafting people in the first and second round, they're starters. Right. Period. So is he going to be a starter? If the answer is yes, great. We're already off to a good start. If the answer is he's going to be this great player, I just don't know, because I've seen things in this game where I'm like, dude, you're like, one of the things that always stands out to me when it comes to any defensive lineman is, what are you doing when you get a one-on-one? What is happening with the one-on-ones? And when I watched him in his one-on-ones, he wasn't winning them all the time. Now, there was some times that he did win them. You see some highlight clips of him bulldozing people, but pay attention to who the school is, right? Pay attention to who the school is. There was a one play I saw where he kind of split a double team on Sewell, and I said, okay, not bad. Sewell, you know, came out to help, but you know, but for the most part, he's still a question mark for me in a way that I'm hoping proves me wrong. Now the chat says, Luke, you did know that Brad Holmes was high on Trey Lance. He didn't care for Zach. I don't know where you read that at, but if that's the case, that's cool. The reality is we were not taking a quarterback. Under no circumstances were we taking the quarterback. We just were not. Honestly, I believe that his initial three players in my opinion, could be wrong. I believe his three initial players was Jamar Chase, Sewell, and Slater. I think that was where the three he looked at, because I'm telling you, it's just no way you go through the trouble of doing what you did to get Jared Goff and act like it's this, and then you're going to go out and take a court. It doesn't make sense. I saw this question earlier. This one came from Cyrus the Virus. Who's moving to safety? In all honesty, I hope it is Afitu. I hope I said that right. I hope it is him from Syracuse, because essentially, if you're telling me that he's going to play the corner, then they got to move. They got to move my man's.
Yeah, somebody going to have to move, basically.
They got to move Okudah. It had to be one of them too.
Yeah,
so,
him and Okudah, yeah.
You know, what was your initial reaction to the first third round pick? Because obviously a lot of people lost their nuts. We have fun losing our heads on the initial reaction, but what was your initial reaction to the first third round pick of Emil Neal?
Well, I can tell you honestly, you can go back to my Twitter history and look at it, because after that pick, somewhere in my Twitter history, you should see WTF, I'm going to bed. So that pretty much was my reaction, because I'm like, once again, my father called me and said, "Did you see that?" I said, "I don't even want to watch the rest of the draft now." So that was my initial reaction. I did not like that. I didn't. Again, going back to the first pick, I was lost on that. So for the fact for you to double down the very next pick with another D tackle, I'm starting to get scared because it's like, what are y'all doing? Like, there's other talent out there in other areas we can attack, and y'all choosing to double down on defensive tackle. So I was really confused with that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's one of the things that we're going to definitely address when it comes to each pick and what the thought process was. And I just looked at it like this. I was shocked by the third pick. I was like, what the hell is this? The Eagles were pissed about that pick. They was like, oh, these they was mad that we took this guy. The first thing I did was ran to film. And the first thing I saw, I was like, oh, damn, he moving. That was my initial reaction. He's moving.
I saw you. I heard you. I was listening to you guys during the draft, and I heard you saying you were watching film during the draft. So I was like, okay, well, if Luke, we can putting out some good word on him, then maybe something is going on.
That big boy was moving, man. That big boy was moving for real. Look at me. Look, see what I'm saying? You see the stuff I got to deal with. Damn it. I know. You ain't got to tell the world. Don't tell the world. It happens. I mean, he got picked up as an undrafted free agent, but that's not in their damn business. Don't tell everybody. I'm just saying. I mean, listen, I thought the second D tackle was there, but then it became clear to me about some things. Now, to kind of speed this up, picks 3 and 4, picks 4, where we had 2 fourth-round picks. We took Amon-Ra St. Brown, and we took Derek Barnes. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Wait, did we do the iffy pick? We didn't
the who pick?
Iffy, the corner.
Oh, the corner. Yeah, I forgot all about him. My Syracuse corner. My bad. First black man on the net says, man, I thought we knew football. This is depressing. Leave it to the experts, and collectively, these were the decisions that were made. Yeah, I think what you're starting to see is this. Like I said, I don't want to talk about the initial reactions, but like I said, I always go and look at things afterwards and take a look at it real hard and figure it out. And some stuff was truly revealed to me in such a way that I was like, oh, I'm picking up what they putting down. And I'm not gonna act like they didn't put down a lot to think about, because they sure as hell did. But what was your initial reaction to the cornerback?
Now with the cornerback, I didn't knock it. I wasn't mad. I was kind of middle of the line with the corner, because I don't follow college as strongly as I should. I kind of look players up as the draft process goes on. I didn't know a lot about him. But I listened to what they had to say about him, looked up a few things on the internet about him as well. And what I can find is it seemed like he had some really good traits, and they said some good things about him and some stuff he need to work on like any other draft prospect. So I said, okay, I wasn't mad about that at all. We can definitely use help in our secondary. So I would just label him as a solid pick. And then I also looked and saw that a lot of people had him going higher. So I was like, okay, wow. So I kind of see that as a bit of a steal if he was supposed to go higher and we caught him in a later round, a later pick.
Okay, I looked at it like this. He's a hybrid. He plays safety, he plays cornerback, and I got to be honest, I'm not killing him on it, because at the end of the day, we need another safety. But again, that pick also told me some things that I just said, okay. I see. You know how that sun gets. I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. I get it. I get it. I take information that is provided to me and I go through and decipher it. They gave me what I needed and I understand it. I don't think nobody's mad about having any type of trenches at all. At least I haven't seen any comments that points to the opposite of it.
Right.
But
first, black man on that, I just want to say, I see your comment. I'm not mad. Like Luke said, these are initial reactions. If you want to know where I am currently, I'm cool. But one thing I will still say about these linemen that we took is they got to go out on the field and perform with them being second and third round picks. Because these guys should be starters. at second and third round. So I'm not mad, but I wasn't expecting us to go there that early. That's what I'm saying. So we're talking initial reaction.
Right. These are just the initial reactions. In other words, like, what are your initial reactions when these picks came down? When it came to our fourth round picks, the receiver, the linebacker, what are your thoughts? And obviously, I just tossed the running back in there because it was so far down there. What were your thoughts with our last three picks?
Okay, so I actually was pretty happy with the wide receiver pick because obviously we needed one. The kid definitely looks like he has talent, and I actually really love the fact that he's a physical receiver. I saw the highlight when he was pretty much ready to fight the corner that was across from him. He shoved him out of bounds and was like he was ready to scrap with everybody on the sideline. So as long as he can keep that temperament controlled, though, to where we ain't getting no flags, and he actually catches the ball and does his thing, I was cool with that pick. The Derek Barnes pick, I was cool with that one as well, just because I know we can use linebacker help, and he seems to be a pretty physical guy himself, and he has speed, and God knows that's what we need in the linebacker position, is speed. So I'm pretty cool with that. The running back, I really can't say I have a huge opinion on it because I want to know, are you going to be on our team come the start of the season? If I look at it from the aspect that he's going to be on our team come the start of the season, then there could be some value there because he was projected to go higher than what he did. I think they said he was projected to go around 4th, 5th round, somewhere around there. And he was pretty pissed off that he got drafted in the 7th. I listened to his interview that he did with the Lions, and he wasn't happy. He said himself he thought he was going to go in the 3rd or 4th round. So, that's kind of a meh pick for me with the last one. But we see where it goes.
Let me tell you, I literally, when it came to Ahmad, I that's one of the reasons my video got cut off that one time. Remember, I was doing the live film study and I got scared after that. I was like, oh, they don't shut me down. like I got scared and nervous after that. So the first thing I did was I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to it. But yeah, the dude is a baller. I really enjoy his game. Derek Brown, I was the most excited about because Derek Burns, what I liked about Derek Burns was he played all three linebacker positions plus DN. You can put him in a 3-4. You can put him in a 4-3. You can put him in a 4-2-5. Whatever it is, he's going to perform. I love the way he took angles and different things about that. So that made me excited. The running back pick, I didn't care who they took in the 7th round. They could have took the goddamn vending machine guy, and I was okay with it, to be honest with you. It didn't make a difference because those are generally guys who are going for special teams. Now that we have got past all of that, here's my overall reaction to it. I seen a questionnaire that says, Luke, did Holmes gain or lose your trust? Neither. Neither did one of them. My goal has always been wait and see what he do. We have fans willing to give Patricia 3 years. I can get this man 1. It's not going to kill nobody. And in this 1 year, he's showing me things that I do like. But I did learn some things about him this one draft. I can tell you that for sure. There's no mistake about that. I saw a question about what grade would you give this draft. Every draft for me, in all honesty, is C. Every draft is a C because we don't know what they're going to be. They have to still go out there and perform and show that they're willing to get with the get down.
Right.
But I didn't see that. And the other part,
if I go off my expectation though, I would probably give it a B. I wouldn't go way above that just because of like what you said. They gotta go out and do it.
I mean, but this is how I looked at it. Once I sat back and I looked at it, this is the first thing I thought about, and I said, while I didn't think we needed a D tackle, I had to remember they hired a new sports doctor. And it got me to thinking, and I was like, oh, snap. He probably came in and did some reevaluations and said, yeah, nope, and nope. And I think what they said is they went and looked at the analytics on top of reports and everything and said, Deshaun Hand probably not going to be able to play a full season to help us, so we better get D tackle help. Kevin Strong, Nick Williams, Atkins, These guys are not going to be people we can leave on the field for downs that are going to be crucial. And they just basically said, we're going to toss them to the garbage. We got a run stopper in John Penny-Sini. We got Michael Brockers. And then at that point, we need more help. And I think they literally identified that and said, nope. The reason I was not mad at the picks that they had is because if you just look at it from one standpoint, which is overall big picture, the worst part of this team was what? The defense. Right. To go out and get the best player available for your need in the first round, cool. But now at this point, it's defense. And if you look at our picks, we literally filled all of our needs, including safety. Now, I know I saw a comment in there that says I still wanted the safety. That was from Mr. Marcus, I believe that was. But at the end of the day, we still needed defensive help. They got it. They got 3 guys who are going to get significant playing time, in my opinion. The cornerback we took plays corner and safety. So those are some of the things that we look. Let me ask you this. What are some things that, clearly is like the first one. What are some things that you noticed from Brad Holmes' first draft that stood out to you?
I guess it would be more obvious than anything, and that's that they kind of sticking to their philosophy. Like they said that they were going to look for football players, and I believe that's what they went in this draft and got was football players. They said that they wanted guys that were at least, really real good at one thing. And I feel like for the most part, they went out and did that. They went out and got football players, and you actually saw excitement when Sewell dropped to them, and they got Sewell, and it kind of shows you that they were really comfortable and happy with what they got instead of your casual little fist bump, like, yeah, all right, we drafted this guy. Like they felt like they hit the lottery, basically, when they got Sewell.
Yeah, the reaction for Sewell was golden. Here's some things that I noticed. Brad Holmes is like a kid squirrel. I want y'all to understand something. Brad Holmes himself said he didn't know who the hell he hugged, but he knew he hugged somebody. This dude, Brad Holmes is such a kid squirrel, and I'm gonna tell you what I think. I'm gonna tell you what I say that. He was trying to trade up to get Levi. And Dorsey and the rest of the people was like, nope, just sit back. It's gonna come to us. Right.
So glad they did that. Yeah.
And so that show you that he's real quick to get to the gun. Like he's aggressive and he wants to get the player that he wants to get. The other thing I noticed is each person he took fell in line under analytics, good guy, and certain standards. If you go back and you listen to every interview they ever have, they keep talking about we want players that takes on the identity of this coaching staff. Nope. They achieved that. You go listen to the first interview from Levy. I'm effing stuff up. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You gonna listen?
Now that was gold. You want to talk about gold? Was gold.
I'm just saying. You go through and you look at it, and you talk about people like Amara, who got so mad as he was falling, he went out and started catching passes in the garage. Like, bruh, they got me all type of mad, right? Yep. And so you see these different players and their attitude. Every single person has attitude. And so I even watch Hard Knocks, people. I watch Hard Knocks again just because I wanted to see Anthony Lynn. I wanted to see Jared Goff. I wanted to see certain little pieces and stuff. And Anthony Lynn only talks about attitude. How he always say blocking is an attitude. He had the coaches preaching to the positional groups. You don't block, you don't play. There's a difference in the way that they're approaching it. The other thing I noticed in Brad Holmes' first draft is how he addressed the main problems on defense. Brad Holmes said, let's be honest. And it's not just him. I went back to an interview that Dan Campbell did with Rich Eisen, but Brad Holmes said all of our problems that we had from all 3 years started up front. That's all he said. It started up front on the defense. We didn't pressure nobody. We didn't keep linemen. We didn't keep the offensive linemen off of our linebackers. certain linebackers that we lost because our D-line couldn't keep people up off of them, and they just wasn't making the bar. He literally said that he did a review, and these people just wasn't hitting at home. They wasn't getting the job done. They wasn't opening lanes up for the linebackers to fill the hole. When it came to coverage, it wasn't no need to worry about coverage because the quarterback had all day. The pocket was never pushed. It was clear.
I said this before, man. We had that defensive line that they, like you said, they weren't aggressive and they were patty cake guys. They sat at the line of scrimmage and played patty cake.
And the worst part about it is, it was clear to me that when they came in, they did a real evaluation. This was not like what the old people did, where they came in and said, "Are you an expatriate? You a starter?" They didn't do that. Mm-hmm. They came in and they watched tape, they watched film, they watched multiple things, and they said, "Look, we didn't do most of the stuff because our D line never touched anybody. They never got home. We was one of the least blitzing teams, and we couldn't even scheme. Without us blitzing, we couldn't just have 4 guys or 3 guys rushing to get home." Now it became more clear to me on what the Lions' direction was. It became more clear to me on the Lions' approach to building the team. They came in and did their evaluation, and they said, "Listen, you can give me 45 math players, but if they're willing to run through a brick wall, understand assignment, and be disciplined, I can win." And they literally said that they weren't taking no turds. Look at some of the people that you look at. Barmore, off-field issues and a host of other problems. It was clear that Parsons' off-field issues were a concern for them. Certain things that they could not fix. They also understood that there was no need to take anyone that has any of these issues in my process of building, because that could be disruptive to the build itself. Now, I got a few more to hit on. I'm gonna give it to you. The next thing I noticed was the Lions' identity became more and more clear to me after the draft, and I cried. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I cried because it finally made sense. Every bit of it made sense. It was clear that it wasn't about it. They to me, taking a quarterback or receiver in the first just was never going to be the better pick than taking the offensive lineman. They understood that. In the second round, I talked about how you can get good receivers later. I even had a video basically showing you the receivers you can get later, and then even told you it's going to be between rounds 2 and 6, and we took one of them. And I'm like I said, it's a loaded draft class with a lot of talent. But the thing that made me cry, was I finally saw the Lions' identity. And what the identity of this team is going to be is, one, attitude. They don't like you. They don't believe in you. Nobody's respecting you. And you know what? They shouldn't. You got to go out there and show them. I got to show them. I ain't supposed to be the head coach here. I never had a coordinator job. Why am I here? Okay. This new general manager, he's never been in the front office position like this before. We shouldn't be here. Chris Spielman shouldn't be here. Sheila Ford shouldn't be here. Nobody likes us. And that's okay. It's okay to not like us. Because when he talked about biting off kneecaps and doing all that aggressive stuff, what he really was saying to the world is you don't got to like us. But when the game is over, you're going to respect us. Because every time you think you want a piece of us, we coming back with more. We're coming back to beat you down. We're going to run the ball down your throat when you know we running it. We're going to pass the ball when you know we passing it. And guess what? There's nothing you can do about it because we are already foundationally set. When he talks about bringing in people like Sewell and Frank Ragnow and building around them and stuff, he's literally telling you that it's one thing that's not going to falter. It's our foundation. They are poised to do something different, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. The last thing I noticed is the Lions are drafting without fear. Okay. I know this sounds crazy to some people. What do you mean, Luke? They're drafting without fear? Well, why should they be afraid to draft? There were some people who felt that they should have just took Fields just to make sure nobody else in the division get them. They don't care. Right. They're about their business. You see, the thing about minding your business is it has to be your business for you to mind, right? And while you are trying to match your things up to go against the people in your division, if you mind your business, whatever the division is doing, they'll be watching you. They'll be watching you. And so
you can't do that to not to cut you off. You can't do that to just worry about playing your division, because last time I checked, you played more than 6 games. So you can't just build your team to beat your division.
And so when you look at what they did and let's be honest, and I hate to point this out. This is the year that we're going to find out. We got 1, 2, 3. We got at least 3 to 4 years to see the difference. The Bengals did what most Lion fans wanted, which was take the receiver.
Yeah.
And the Lions did what most experts said the Bengals should have did, and take the offensive lineman. The thing that I look at is this. Think about pressure, right? Most of the time when you see pressure coming, is it coming up the middle?
Man, it depends on the defense.
Any defense. If you just look at on average, any team in the league on average, is pressure coming up the middle on the quarterback, or is it coming from the outside from the tackle position?
Because I see a lot. Well, they definitely came up the middle on Mahomes. I say on average, it comes up the middle for me. That's just my opinion.
Okay, but here's the truth. I'm gonna give you the truth. I know what you're seeing, but I want to give you the truth. On average, most pressure that comes to the quarterback comes off the edge. It's why they pay DNs and edge rushers so much money, because that's where most pressure comes from. And if you just look at what the Lions did without even having to worry about the division, they neutralized that. They got 2 tackles who can stop that. They got guards. Well, we're going to find out what Big V is at guard. I think he's a better at guard. But they got the middle part shored up. And I'm just telling you that 9 times out of 10, that the pressure is not coming at the middle. So if you go through and you look at all the things that people in our division did, the Khalil Max and all that stuff, guess what? Now they got more work cut out for them.
Right. Now that is what collapses the pocket, though, that for sure.
But now
them edge rushers definitely collapse the pocket.
And now the run game opens up, because at this point, now the run game open up. Draw plays open up, screen plays open up. And the beauty of all of that, this is the beauty of it. The beauty of all of that is you flip it to the other side of the ball. And now we got people who are healthy without injury issues. Healthy.
That's a big plus.
So, you got a linebacker that you literally can put in any 1-3 spots of the linebacking core and get production. There is nothing you cannot do. The cards for once have lined up for the Lions. Now, I'm going to ask you, give me your initial reaction on, because we got to also hit on the NFL article that I'm in love with. I think this is a very good article. I'm happy that they did this. I think it makes the most sense. But I've given you my view of what I've seen from this first one, because it's clear to me that the plan is there. As I build my profile up for this general manager, it's becoming clear to me what the plan is. I told people we was going to win eight games. I said at the least 7, but 8 or more games, right? And people thought I was crazy. I think we're gonna learn something today. Okay. I think we're gonna learn something today. And I think it's evident in the approach that they're taking to get this done. The Lions have finally said we got to get back to the basics. They've learned from their history, and it's 100%. Them looking at the history on top of what is there. The game plan makes sense. And to show you, I want to show y'all this, to show you that Brad Holmes listens to the fan base, to show you that Brad Holmes hears what the fan base is saying and the media here is saying. You notice when he took Amon-Ra St. Brown, he said, when I took the receiver and everybody was excited for it, I just laughed because now they can finally get off my ass. Yes, he said ass in a press conference about not taking a receiver.
I saw that too.
In a draft that was loaded with receiver. This is why you don't take one high. You didn't have to. So what are your initial thoughts of him after his first draft, Brad Holmes?
Well, my initial thought is, number one, first thing, job well done. Because to me, overall, and just the past decade or more, this is probably the first complete Detroit Lions draft I've seen since I started watching the draft. Like, normally you might have 1 or 2 players here and there that you liked out of the draft class. But this is probably the first complete one to where you're the the GM and the rest of the guys talked about what they wanted to do with the team, and do you actually seen them go into the draft and execute that? What they thought their identity was, what they type of players they want to go after, and then you actually see them go in the draft and actually execute that. And I felt like that's what Brad Holmes did. He went to the draft and he executed exactly what he wanted out of the player. Like you said, they got aggressive players, they got athletes, you got real players versus you didn't see no Jelani Tavai-Reaches in this draft. Like I know me and you both are really huge fans of the D tackles, but I mean, you tell me, did I feel like a Jelani Tavai-Reach to you though?
No, because like I said, when you look at it, I told people that they are not looking past this season. They're not. They're looking to win now. And when you go through and you look at our run defense and our pass rush, the failures failed solely on the front 4 or 3 or whatever the hell Patricia was trying to toss out there. Like, when it's a dire situation and you rush 2, that shit wasn't working.
And I just believe what they're doing isn't going to alienate the players, because obviously what Matt Patricia was doing when he was here was alienate the players. Like, how the hell you expect to win if over half the team hate your guts?
This is a fact. So again, I also like this point right here from One Pride 40 where he says, no more smartest man in the room picks. I go back to this thing of why I say you don't keep a dude who's on the hot seat to let him make certain picks, because I remember the report came out that everybody in the scouting department was like, we need to take Isaiah Simmons. Everybody said we need to take Isaiah Simmons. The head coach wanted the defensive tackle out of Auburn, Derek Brown, right?
Right.
And Bob Quin was like, we're taking Jeff Okudah. And so you flip it to this year, you had a guy who was willing to trade up. He was willing to trade up with the Bengals and with the Dolphins to make sure that he got Sewell, but he listened to John Dorsey. He listened to Spielman. He listened to Dan Campbell and everybody else in that room who said, just sit tight. He listened. That willingness to listen and accept the views and opinions of other people is something we haven't been dealing with lately. It's always been, I want to show you who balls is bigger, right?
Yep.
And so now we look at it, and now you telling me a guy who had the power to just be like, nah, F y'all, I'm doing what I want. He listened to the group. The group had to agree.
Right.
It was a democracy in there for you to have to be able to make those decisions, and it was not that case. It's just beautiful to see how it's unfolding. Now, I got to go to this because I love this article. I love this article for a number of reasons, and it's more proof. It's more proof that we as fan base should not get mad. We shouldn't. I didn't even talk about the undrafted free agent because you know why? It don't matter. You know why it don't matter? It's because most of those people that's out here, they all fit the same attitude. They got to come in and improve themselves. There is nobody who's being given a spot. Everybody's spot is being earned. So let me go ahead and get into it. This is the latest. I do mean the latest, as in today, power rankings after the draft. I want y'all to take this in for a minute. I really do. I want y'all to take this in for a minute. I want y'all to hold on to that initial feeling. I want y'all to think about that. Feel the initial feeling of this. This is the thing. They got us rated 32nd. We have a draft and went down a spot, to be exact.
Right.
I'm just being honest. I just want you to understand what we're doing here. All right? Just look at this. Okay.
The crazy part is they say in there that that the picks won't help Jared Goff.
I just want everybody to have a moment to take in their initial thing. Now, Randall comes here. Randall says, Luke, that's not what happened at all. I don't know what he's referring to as in that's not what happened at all, but I'm sure he'll tell me. But okay. If you say that's not what happened at all, I don't know what you're referring to, but it's just not the case. Tell me what it is that's not happening at all so we can address it. I want y'all to see this. Okay. I'm with you on this, Dr. Pepperoni. This whole quarterback receiver talk, they spoken. And the reality is they still had two guys rated high. They said, this is what they said. They said that Fairley, the offensive line coach for us, when he was in college doing it, he was so in love with Sewell that they sent him there to try to recruit him to the college. But he got there a little too late, and he was sick. And he been watching him ever since. He been wanting this guy ever since. They always had certain people on their board high. Sewell was the highest one they had on that board. And then they said the other person they had was another person at the same position, which I can play the audio to. And then they said the third one they're not even going to really talk about. But we got to stop with the quarterback receiver talk. It's done. It was never an option for us. Okay? It just never was. So Power Rankings got us at 32. And I love it. I love it. Because two reasons. One, no matter what we do, we already are said to be some bull. We're not going to be good. This is what the media is saying. This is what they're trying to report to the fan base. We're not going to be good. We had a draft that they rated a B. This same NFL network rated it a B+ draft, and that is still not good enough for us to move up in the power rankings, but to move down a spot to 31. Now, the part that I love about this, that I think that we have to learn to embrace, is not only what's the words here, but who they say gonna be better, like the Texans, right? who we don't know what their quarterback gonna do. The team that just picked first overall, who went from number 32 all the way up to 30, just gonna be better. The Bengals, it's going to be better.
Yep.
Right?
The fact they didn't take a tackle.
Right? Panthers is going to be better. Jets are going to be better. Denver, I want y'all to take this in. Because what you should not do is be upset at all. You should not be mad at all. You should not be disgusted at all. Because this has been the theme this whole entire season. The last team that had this same theme went to the Super Bowl and won it with the Eagles. They shouldn't have been there.
Let's also acknowledge the fact that, let's just say hypothetically, we did take Justin Fields. For all those people out there that wanted Justin Fields, let's say we did take him. At the end of the day, okay, everybody's complaining about how we didn't take Justin Fields, but at the end of the day, all they're going to do is we going to draft Justin Fields, and that same complaining that those people are doing about not taking Justin Fields, how we did take him, they're going to take that blame and shift it to something else. So we take Justin Fields, he gets out there, oh, well, this is the Lions' fault. We don't have no wide receivers, so that's why Justin Fields looked bad. Oh, they should have completed the offensive line. Then we should have completed the offensive line because he was getting hit on his right side. So they should have found somebody later in the draft. When you see how everybody watched this draft, how fast them tackles was coming off the board, so you tell me where in the heck we was going to better get that offensive line that even came close to the grade of Sewell or Slater.
Not nowhere. Which is the point that I've been making for months. One fucking Lion fan says Luke, quarterback was an option. Sorry you can't see it. I'm sorry you can't see that it wasn't. Okay? You think that let's just be honest. Let's just really be honest. Just stay with me. This team, if you look at every move they have made this year in the draft, it was to win now. Every move.
Yep.
Hold on. What? I got to address two things. So every move that they made to this year was made for the win now. They did not make moves like that didn't have long-term success around it. So if the idea is that quarterback was really an option, then you're telling me that the first three teams weren't taking it. But we knew that the first three teams were taking the quarterback, right? So this is something that has been mocked by every expert, that the first few teams were taking the quarterback, right? At what point were the Lions going to take a quarterback if their attitude is we're trying to win now for foundational purposes? Why would they take a quarterback? It was never considered. It was never considered. You know why it was never considered? Because they knew that chances were they were never going to be in position for those quarterbacks anyway. Which is why he said, and I quote, we had Sewell rated higher, and there was one other guy at the same position as him, and then the third. That was it. Not my words in that. Randall says, Brad didn't want to trade up to get Sue. He wanted to trade up to get Levy. And you are so wrong about who the top 3 were. Wow, you really only like hearing what you want to hear, don't you? Again, you wrong, per usual. He flat out said. Like, he flat out, it's been reported. You can go and search this stuff. This is not me making up stories. He tried to trade up. You know what? I do you one better. See, this is the thing. When I talk, I generally do research. And I'm not just here to just make things look. You just want to have a debate and an argument that's not debatable. But I'm going to show you why your argument that you're trying to have is not debatable. There was multiple reports that he tried to trade up for Sewell. Multiple reports. Not me making it up. Okay?
Right.
Hold on. So you just got to learn how to go and search the internet. It's not hard. So it's not hard. Let me just go here.
While you do that, I just want to say this also about that. Like I said again, people being upset with the whole quarterback and going the Sewell route. I much rather have a really good offensive line right now than to go get Fields or whoever else. Well, we're going to go based off the way the draft fell. Basically, Fields was the only person left. Go get Fields and then or get Devontae Smith or whoever y'all wanted. And, okay, now Jared Goff got to throw to Devontae Smith, but okay, now what? Like, what's going to happen now? I'd rather have the offensive line, so whether it's Goff or anybody else. So when I mention Sewell, it's not that I'm trying to necessarily be successful with Goff, because I see people in the comments talking about that too. I'm not saying I wanted Sewell just for Goff to be successful. It's for the organization to be successful for the next couple of years, whether it's Goff or anybody else.
It don't even matter. We have a draft that's already been concluded, and we have people who just want to debate. Now, let's read the words real wisely. Brad didn't want to trade up to get Sewell. The Detroit Lions considered trading up for Penny Sewell twice. What are we talking about here? It's not debatable. This is not us just having to make a conversation, but then they want to move the goalposts. There were also reports that he wanted to trade up for Chase, too. And the 2 people that I've already said, the 2 people that I already said were that they talked about were offensive tackle. He said Sue was rated high, and the other person played at the same position as Sue, which means tackle. And one other person, which I flat out said, was probably Jamar Chase.
Right.
Like just 100%. But this idea that I'm wrong. See, this is the thing. Everybody wants to try to prove somebody wrong. It's not about being wrong. It's just some things that you got to report. The facts were that he tried to trade up for it. And this is not me making it up. This ain't no me making it up. I'm trying to be right or anything. I'm just reporting to you what they said. Now, here's the comment. And I love me some Randall, because Randall and I think we need a damn show together because we do this all the time. But the truth is right here. And this ain't the only article right here that they talked about. I flat out just said that they tried to trade up with the Bengals and the Dolphins. What does this say? And a refreshingly tell-all with the Free Press, David Burkett, Holmes revealed that he got on the phone with the Cincinnati Bengals with the 5th pick and the Miami Dolphins at the 6th to see if they could work out a deal to grab Sewell. Stop telling me I'm wrong about shit that I'm giving you facts on that's 100% supported if you just Google it. That's it. Here go the other part. Reports leaked prior to Thursday's draft that the Lions had called the Falcons to move up and acquire LSU wide receiver Jamar Chase. Holmes denies that, saying the conversation was with the Bengals and for Sewell. But yet I'm wrong. This is what happens when people want to just debate. But I'm not here for the debate. I'm here to talk about sports. I'm not here for that. I'm here for talk about sports. The reality is this. I'm not trying to be right. I'm not trying to be the expert. I'm not. I tell everybody all the time, I'm a Lions fan, just like you guys. I just have an unhealthy addiction to following things.
Oh, whether it be Jared Goff or whoever, all I say is you got quarterback. Quarterback looks in front of him. He sees Jonah Jackson. He sees Frank Ragnow. He sees Decker. He sees Sewell. Why the hell would you be mad at that?
Let me see if I can get this up here. Hold on. Let me see if I can make this big. Please be big. All right. Look at this. Look at this. Does that look like somebody who mad that they got a constellation at Sewell? No. This tells me more than anything else. They were really trying to trade up to secure this damn tackle.
Right.
Now, if Trey Lance, because he gonna say a lot, he gonna do a whole lot of talking because he's trying to make sure he be PR and he cover his Aspen. But you knocking down people like you playing football and everything, you think this is somebody who didn't want this guy all along? Really?
Yeah, really? I thought it was gonna turn into WWE in there and they were gonna start slamming MFs through tables.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Listen, it was live in there.
Listen, the reality is this. We can say what we want, but I pay attention. I pay attention. If y'all know what I did for a living, you know why I'm good at it. I pay attention. But I'm wrong. It's what they say. Now, let's get back to the story. I don't want to debate you, Randall. We ain't got to debate everything. Sometimes it can just be a good football conversation. The reports about Jamar Chase, they were not true. You know, Brandon Anderson says about Lance and everything. I'm just telling y'all, if they were willing to trade up to the 5th spot for Sewell and call for the 6th spot for Sewell, right? And the Trey Lance was such the pick. Do you think if Trey Lance fell to 4, they would have traded up with the Falcons? No.
No. And I wouldn't want to trade for Justin Fields anyway, with that being our first overall pick, just knowing that we're going to sit him year 1.
No.
You at least sit in year 1. Like, why do that with your first pick? And he's not right out the gate going to help the team. He's going to sit because regardless of how much everybody don't like him, Jared Goff 2021 season is starting for the Detroit Lions, period.
Right. And it doesn't go with the narrative of what they've been doing this entire time. The entire time that they have literally been doing this, if you just watch every move from free agency, every move from the draft, it's about now. The quarterback was not going to ever be about now. So when I hear certain things and I see certain body language and reactions and I see certain behaviors, yes, I can make a educated hypotheses about the reality of what's going on. And the reality is I don't really think they were serious about a goddamn quarterback because there's nothing that said that they was considering trading up for a quarterback.
Right. And if you look at wide receiver also, Luke, remind us again, at what spot was Devontae Smith drafted?
Bruh, listen again. In
all seriousness, what spot was he drafted?
Again, 12 or 33 or something like that. I forget. It's something like that.
Okay, and our pick was at 7, correct?
Yep.
So why everybody getting upset and why we didn't take Fields or Smith? How many other teams passed on Devontae Smith?
How many teams passed on Fields? I just don't understand. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like I said, Brad Holmes said the report from Atlanta was false and never happened. He said that today, but I know he did. That the Jamar Chase talks with that's why I knew that it wasn't true. But to move on to get us back in there, Troy said, "Y'all, he don't want to be called Skip Bayless. He what's the other dude name?
You talking about Max Kellerman?
Max Kellerman. Randall is Max Kellerman. You can't call him Skip. He can't stand Skip. So I ain't mad at him. But I'm just reporting the truth. To tell me I'm wrong is just okay. I'm gonna leave that there for the people who told me I was wrong. Was not aware of that article. Good research. See, I don't mind being wrong either. But you making mistakes about the top 3, Chase, Sewell, Waddle, Slater, was plan B. What? You making the top 3, Chase, Sewell, Waddle, Slater was plan B. Ain't that 4 players or am I tripping? Chase, Sewell, Waddle, Slater. That's 4 players. I'm not sure. I think you're trying to say that. I think the top 3 was just me. I think the top 3 was Sewell, Slater, and I think Chase if he fell to him. But I still think they had Sewell rated higher. Just saying.
Yeah, I think it would probably would have, in my opinion, it would have went Sewell, Chase, and then Slater.
Troy said this dude is the FBI agent. Bro, you silly. I'm just gonna tell you I'm good at my job. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I can't tell you nothing else.
Right.
Yeah, I know what Brad Holmes said. Brad Holmes been saying a lot of stuff, bro. He's saying a lot of stuff. He also talked about how he was trying. It was a smoke screen. I just hate to tell y'all the truth. It's a smoke screen. It was just a smoke screen. So I'm just saying, 100%. It's just smoke screen. It's just I don't know why, but I really want to focus in on this because to me, this right here is important. Now I see some questions about Abrams. I think every receiver we took as an undrafted free agent has a chance to make this team. The problem is this. What has been said to Tyrell Williams and to Brashard Perryman is this is your job to lose. But out of all of that, the person who's going to benefit the most from all of this, and I hate to say this, is going to be Williams and Swift, and it's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown and TJ. Those other dudes on the outside are simply there for when if you decide to load the box, we're going to dump it off over the top on y'all. Good luck with that. Now, the other thing that I want y'all to understand is with this. We did a draft that we went from 31 to 32. It said the Lions are playing for tomorrow. So it's best to look at the team's 2021 draft as a foundation building exercise. It started with the franchise left tackle and Oregon stud Penny Sewell, followed by 3 picks that address defense in the second round, third round. When it comes to the draft for me, I always ask 2 questions. What was the logic behind the draft? The logic was simple for me. 1, you have to do something with this damn defense because it was terrible. And anything you take to fix that is a plus, in my opinion. This team
stop a high school team.
Bruh, his team won 5 games and still had a defense worse than a team that went 0-16.
0-6, man. I told my father that yesterday, man.
It's crazy to me. And so you got to look at this and say, the idea that we got this we're going to be last, I love it because either 1 or 2 things going to happen. 1, this not going to age well, or 2, it's going to age real well. And in my opinion, this ain't going to age well. I'm all about getting it right in the first place. I'm all about getting it right in the first place. And that's what it boils down to.
I'm petty. So, and I'm just gonna say, and when all those comments blow up in your face, there ain't no room for you on the bandwagon when you wrong.
Brandon Anderson says it was in an article about it. Definitely wasn't a smoke screen. I guarantee you, if Trey Lance would have failed to the 4th spot, they would not have traded up for him. That's the only question you got to ask yourself. Would they have traded up for Trey Lance? Just ask yourself that question. Look at what they did, which everything was for now. Would they have traded up for Trey Lance? If the answer to that is yes, I have news for you. They have draft capital to have traded up before the trade happened. Before that trade happened, where the 49ers moved up, they had room to trade up for him, and yet they didn't. I just don't buy it. It's not my narrative. I just don't see it. They had the opportunity. Like, we got 4 first-round picks over the next 2 years, plus a first this year at 7. You telling me they wanted this quarterback so bad that they didn't have enough draft capital after they landed Jared Goff, 2 firsts and a 3rd. They didn't have enough draft capital to get ahead and get into the game well before. Well, because everybody named Mama knew. Everybody named Mama knew who was 1 and who was 2. Everybody knew. Right? Everybody knew who was 1 and 2. You telling me they wanted this guy so bad that they just couldn't get into the game? Really?
Right.
Come on now, man. Y'all got to start paying attention. Y'all got to start paying attention. 100%. Think about it. They got capital. You know,
not to mention, man, we got 2 first-round picks next year. Not 1, 2. We got 2 first-round picks the year after that. And you gotta think logical, man. We're not gonna fix everything in 1 year. So everybody all mad and up arms. Oh, we didn't take Justin Fields. Oh, we didn't get the wide receiver. Think about this then. We took Penny Sewell this year, right? Let's say Penny Sewell pans out. Then there's a couple star-studded receivers in the draft next year, and we can actually have a shot at one of them. Then we go get that guy next year. Now we got the offensive lineman and the receiver. So why is everybody crying? Like, you ain't gonna do everything in one draft. That would be nice.
But they did,
You're not gonna
though.
do everything in one draft.
But they did. They filled all their needs in one draft. I swear, they did. Think about it. Look at the Lions' needs, right? Offensive tackle, check. Linebacker, check. Wide receiver, check. Cornerback and safety. They got a guy who played both, so I'm giving them a check for that. Right? They got a guy who played both, so I'll give them a check for that. Some fans say we needed a D tackle. I didn't think we did, but the more I look at it, I guess the medicals then come back in favor. They got that too. Check. What did they not get?
Well, everybody's shiny toy.
The quarterback.
That's what I mean.
The quarterback.
That's what I mean. Everybody's
that wasn't a
shiny
need.
toy.
But I'm talking about the needs, though. If you look at this draft, they got the needs. Now,
what that's what I'm speaking to is the shiny toy, the star-studded receiver that everybody's talking about going into the draft, or the star-studded quarterback everybody's talking about going into the draft. That's what I was speaking more towards is that. And I said we have time to get that later on down the line, because we all done said it more than once. Well, at least a lot of us, most of us don't even think the Lions going to be any good next year. I know you said you expect 8 wins or so, but a lot of y'all don't even think the Lions going to be good next year. So why are you crying? Because if we go by your logic, then we're going to be near the top of the draft next year to get one of those shiny toys.
Randall says, I meant to say Sewell, Chase, and Waddles were the top 3. Slater and the unknown player were alternatives if all 3 were taken. Look at the sequence of questions asked by the reporter. Look at the answer given. We had 3 guys rated high. Sewell's number 1. The other guy played the same position as Sewell. And the third, okay. Again, just want to have a debate. I don't know why you want to do this, but we can do it. Just telling you the truth. I get it, but damn.
Well, one thing you like saying, I'm not saying anybody in this conversation was talking about Fields. We ain't no point in talking about Lance either, because that's a waste of conversation and breath. He wasn't dropping to us. There was 0 chance that we was getting Trey Lance. So that's not worth talking about either.
I mean, again, I can't make this stuff up. I can't. This should not be the conversation amongst Lions fans. Right now, what should be the conversation, first of all, here, let me just Google I don't want to do that. We can't be giving out no ads. That get you in trouble. That gets you in trouble. We can't be giving out no ads, people. Sewell 1, Slater 2, and if Lance fell, he was 3. Wide receiver was never in the conversation. Okay, I mean, even if you go in that route, I just want to show you why I think it's just the first part of it. Hold on, let me.
Quin, it's Brad Holmes, GM with the Detroit Lions. How you doing, man? Hey, I told you I'd follow up with you, man. You ready to be aligned? All right, man. Well, we're about to pick you here, man. Congratulations, man. Hey, it's one pride over here, man. We want you in this pride, all right? You're going to be a big part of what we're doing going forward, all right, man? All right, man. Congratulations. Congratulations, man. Enjoy with your family, all right? Hey, let me get you on the phone with our head coach, Dan Campbell, all right? Congratulations, big man, all right?
Big man. Hey, we're fired up, my friend. You're going to change the culture for us, man. We're going to build this thing around guys like you. You hear me?
Build this thing around guys like you.
Just like you did playing, man. You come in to compete, man. You be just as nasty and dirty as you've been, and you're going to help us turn this thing around. We're going to be winners, man. All right? You're the building block. You hear me?
Building block.
All right. We're fired up, man. Hey, listen, I'm going to turn you over to our owner, all right? Sheila Ford Ham, all right? So just a minute here. All right, brother.
Yay! That's a very exciting draft room.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding.
Wonderful. So can't wait to get you here. Help us turn this thing around. So we know you're going to. Great. Well, we can't wait to see you. Congratulations, and we're thrilled. Take care. We'll see you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. That's just the first one. Now, again, this not me trying to be you know, me trying to be the smart guy in the room, but can't have no ads. I hate YouTube. Every time you start a new video, they give you an ad. I'm just saying that a lot of this stuff is not me. Just, you know, I'm not. Let me if I can find. I believe it's at the 5-minute mark. I want to say it was on that video. I want to say it's the 5-minute mark. Let's see. Let me see if I'm right.
I'll keep that for a couple of days. Have any reservation?
Let me see.
A good one. Just talk about the situation he's coming into in a time. We saw your reaction after the pick. You're obviously very excited about that one. Congratulations. But, you know, can you just speak to the situation that Penny's coming into too? You've got some young, talented guys. You talked about it before the draft, how you were excited about the pieces you had in the offensive line. Now you add a good one. Just talk about the situation he's coming into with some veteran guys that he can learn from, some guys that have had success. And is it really a good situation in your viewpoint of the situation he's coming into?
Yeah, I think it's a great situation. You know, we have enough veteran players, you know, in that room that can really provide guidance to Panay. And, you know, he just has to be himself. You know, he's not under any pressure to be this or that. You know, he just has to come in and, you know, we'll allow him to develop and evolve to the position and to the unit. But we don't have any reservations of, you know, him being a fit. He definitely is. But, you know, in terms of situation, and even Hank, you know, Hank Fraley, he does a heck of a job. And, you know, he was involved in the recruiting process early on when he was at UCLA. So being that he's already had kind of a prior history with them, so it's been a great fit. And just the dialogue that we've had with him throughout the process, all the way up till, let's just call it a couple of days ago with Dan and myself, it's been A1. So really excited, but definitely coming into a great situation.
Larry Lage.
Now that's over, will you tell us who the other two players were?
I'll keep that for competitive reasons. I'll keep that, you know, but you know, it was down to three guys that we were really, you know, looking forward to landing, and so him being one of them. Very excited.
Follow up that you can deflect as well if you want, of course. But if he wasn't available, who would you have taken if you stayed at 7?
We would have looked at possibly it would have been one of a similar position to him, or one of
a similar position than him. What, Motor City Thanos, what position does Sewell play?
Plays tackle.
Huh. And the top 3 was Chase and Waddle. All right. Okay. Well, we could eliminate one of them receivers, can't we? Hold on.
their position, I would say that.
Let me go back.
It would have been one of a similar position to him, or one other position. I would say that.
Now, even if I were to go with the route that one fucking Lion fan says that other position was the quarterback, fine. But it wasn't no 2 damn receivers. Just saying.
No, I don't think 2 receivers would be in his top 3. Not in the top 3. No.
I'm just saying. Let's talk about some of these undrafted free agents, because I know that y'all want to know what my thoughts are on them. So I got to go back to the free agent pool right here, and I got to go back down to the Lions thing, and then I got to hit on one thing. All right. So the big question is this man right here, Jonathan Adams. All right. If it ever decide to move and come on up, here's my view on him. I went and watched film immediately on him, and I saw some things. Obviously, I saw the one-hand catches that he made and all that good stuff. I saw that. Obviously, you see the height, the hands. I think he got hurt too, if I'm not mistaken. They say he had an injury or something like that. In one of the articles that I read. Here's my view on him. I really have 2 questions. One, what is he really good at? And 2, in a receiving room that's going to be open to everybody, do I see him making the team? Yes, I see him making the team. Why?
2-2-10, man.
But it's this part. The kick returns. He isn't just a receiver. He gives you a returner. The same thing that Amon-Ra St. gave you, a returner. And so those kind of guys are going to get way more looked at. Now, if you look at it, they got him as a priority free agent. He got picked up. You talk about his strengths, clear press stacks, cornerbacks with hand usage. I mean, he's got them all. The weaknesses is what I looked at, and I went and looked at the film to see if I saw it. The below average separation and burst, that's true. I didn't see him always getting the separation that he needed, especially when the cornerbacks were in that press position. I don't care about the hand size per se. I mean, because it didn't like it was a problem for him with the film that I saw him catching them damn passes. So I like to pick up. The other person that was coming up was Surratt. And Surratt to me was, I believe it's the Notre Dame dude. He was somebody that I think he's here as a tryout practice squad guy. Could be wrong, but again, it's the height here. When I watched the film on him, it could have been, oh snap. I hate these damn ads. All right. It could have just been the quarterback he was playing with, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of Ian Book, even though he's a Saint now. Hopefully Sean can do something with him. But it could have just been that. I think overall this is still a good pickup, but I just think he's going to end up being a practice squad guy. Now, the center, they just add in depth at this point. The cornerback, I have yet to watch film on him, and I have yet to watch film on these two because I was watching film on other people. But overall, I'm okay with where they're at in terms of these undrafted free agents. Now, Hamden said, yes, Surratt did have a garbage quarterback, but it is what you see. Exactly what you see. Our defense. It's the thing that I'm looking at is this. The quarterback history. I already put that up. The quarterback history for quarterbacks out of Ohio State has been terrible. But again, that's another story. Let me ask you this, Motor City Thanos. Is there any particular undrafted free agent that stood out to you the most?
Not particular. The only thing that I really noticed is the wide receiver out of Wake Forest. I know they had him projected to being drafted. And
Down 19 said he got to Wake Forest. So wait a minute. So what is the guy out of Notre Dame? We got a guy out of Notre Dame, didn't we? I could have sworn I saw a receiver out of Notre Dame. I thought that was Surratt that I was looking at. I got to go back and look at that. Now y'all got me going. Look at my history. I'm gonna tell y'all who I looked up. But go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah. I believe that kid is out of Wake Forest. Like, I know that he was projected to being drafted. I forget what round. And I don't know. Like, I don't have any information on the kid. I didn't look any film or nothing on him yet. But if he's any good, that'll be a good pickup for them to add to the depth of our team. Maybe hopefully he can add something to our squad. So he would probably be the only one. As I was watching the draft, I know I saw his name multiple times as far as best available, and I didn't even realize, at that point that he even fell off without being drafted.
Okay, all right. So yeah, it is Javon McKinley's the guy. I knew it. I know I was looking at somebody from Notre Dame, but I thought that was Surratt. Again, this is why I go with the damn numbers. I cannot keep up with these people's names. I just go with the school and the numbers. It's easier to remember for me personally. But yeah, I remember watching his film and thinking like, God, man, I don't know. It might be that quarterback. I don't know. Here's a question. And your Buccaneers took Kyle Trask. Well, smart. They should have. 100% they should have. I listen, you talking about Ryan Griffin backing up Tom Brady. Let's be honest. You need another quarterback. like you needed another quarterback. Not only for the future, but just in general. So yes, 100%. But I'm just excited that they did this. Now, this is something that you brought up to me, Motor City Thanos, which is the grades. The Lions got the lowest draft grade in the division. Everybody else got A's. The Lions got a B+. What are your thoughts on it?
I think some of the things our division did, they might have solid to good drafts, but I just really feel like people intentionally like to pick on us as usual and give us the short end of the straw, like to give everybody in Division A, like, you know what, the Lions did good, but we not gonna give them too much credit. We just gonna give them a B+. So like, it is what it is, man. Because I really don't care at the end of the day. I was just bringing it up. That's just something I just happened to notice, because I would love nothing more than to stick it to them just by winning. Like winning resolves all of that. Winning resolves all that. Or if we want to speak to the immediate future, the players we drafted going out and balling would mean more to me than some writer giving our team an A for their draft class.
I fucking hate y'all right now. If y'all don't leave me alone with Nico Collins, bro, listen, that was the man. Listen, you want to talk about a moment that could not have come at a worse time in real time? They were talking so much crap to me, and I jumped in hook, line, and single like, oh, y'all want to talk this crap, man? Forget Nico. I still think he's a little overrated, but that's my personal opinion. But whatever. I'm like, forget Nico Collins. Soon as I say that, they're like, we have a trade up. I didn't go on to say Nico Collins probably ain't even gonna get drafted. What y'all talking about? Look at all these receivers that's better than him. And I still think those receivers are better than him. But as soon as I say he probably ain't gonna get drafted, what did they say? The Houston Texans select wide receiver Nico Collins, and I went, oh shit, I gotta hear this.
Oh yeah, the wide receiver out of Michigan. Right.
I got to hear this. I'm gonna hear this until at least the next damn draft. I know for a fact that I'm never gonna hear the end of the Nico Collins debacle. Damn you, Texans. It's cool. It's cool. I ain't mad at it. It is what it is. Yeah. It is what it is. They got me. All right. Here's my view. I don't care that we get the lowest grade in the division. And the reason I don't is because it goes with the narrative. Nobody thinks we're going to do anything any damn way, right? So the fan base shouldn't get mad when we suck, because a quarterback wasn't going to fix that. A receiver wasn't going to fix that. The Lions got to do certain things a little bit different. So I'm not mad that we got the lowest grade. I do think the Vikings had a damn good draft. I do. 100% think they have a good draft. They brought in some talent that can come in and help them immediately. I think we got talent that can neutralize that. So it's good to see that part of it. Green Bay, I don't know what the hell going on over there with Aaron Rodgers, because now the rumors is if you want him back, fire the general manager. Damn, that's what we doing now? We calling our shots like that? Fire the general manager? Is everybody's fault but yours, huh, A-Rod?
It's him or me.
Right?
Him or me. That's what we got now.
I mean, this damn Nico Collins stuff, bro. Nico Collins came to your job looking for you. I ain't there.
They ain't gonna let you live that one down.
It is what it is, bro.
You know they really gonna come looking for you if he ball out.
Bruh. Hey, ain't nothing I can do about that, man. It says at Lukegsfieldreview, look at your mentions on Twitter. Oh, I gotta go look at the. Okay, I'm going right now, bruh. What done happened? Let me see. I gotta see. So I know somebody. Let me see something. Where they at? We gotta look at the mentions. Let me see. Anybody hosting a draft watch party on YouTube? Nope. Let me see.
Wait, State didn't get nobody this year?
Effective at 4 p.m., unrestricted free agents that sign with a new team no longer counts towards the NFL comp pick formula. Among those available are Richard Sherman, Justin Houston, Alejandro Villanueva, Russell Okung, Melvin Ingram, KJ Wright, Jason McCourty. Okay. I don't want none of them. If it's that group, I don't want none of them. I will take Golden Tate back, but I don't want none of them dudes. I'll take Golden Tate back. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want none of them dudes. But listen, obviously, I want to see who we pick up in that group. I don't think we were done at this point. It's just terrible at that point. But like I said, I'm happy that we got to work. I want them to keep pushing this narrative that we ain't gonna be shit. I just want them to. All right.
Yeah, because based on the body of work that we did so far and what the general manager and the coach say, we gonna have a punch you in the mouth, bite your kneecap style team, and they gonna eat that shit for food. So keep on talking.
Man, 100%. The Durham says, I never understood the obsession with Nico Collins and Michigan thing. Me neither. But you know what? The only way I can be vindicated is if he sucked. And I don't think he's going to be that good. But, whatever. A-Rod is the biggest whiner in the history of the league, 100% to me. Nico was on live and heard Luke talking and called Houston and was like, Houston, draft me right now. It was bad, bro. It was bad. Most critics say that the Green Bay had the worst draft and the Lions were first or second to the Bears. I think I saw an article that said something like that where they took the average GPAs and said that we had the second best draft within the division, but the seventh best draft out of the entire league. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it went. Let me see. I want to hit on a few more things. And if y'all got a few more questions to put in there, we got to do it. I had a half a day today, so that's why I started a little bit early because I'm going fishing. So I got my stuff pretty much ready to go fishing, but a brother needs some relaxed time. So what if we sign Sherman? What if we don't? I don't.
No thanks.
I don't. Like, we got young guys that need to develop, and there's only one way for that to happen. They got to get into the game.
The only way, if we being honest, the only way I would want Sherman on our team, there's no disrespect to him, would be more support or a teacher. He's a very bright mind. I'll give him that. But if you talking about Sherman to be on the field, no thanks.
Steve-O said they gave Seattle a D. Yeah, I don't understand the D because if you think about it, Seattle had 3 picks. Picks 2, 5, and 7. I'm going to say it again. 2, 5, and 7. So if you're picking in the second round, and the second round's got to be your best pick, why would you take an offensive lineman at center just to move his ass to guard? No. We cussed out the Lions for taking Frank Ragnow 20th overall and moving him to guard. We no, put his ass back to center. What do you know? It works. Duh. I just don't see it. So 100% of it I get. Let me see. Nico will have 200 to 300 yards and 1 to 2 touchdowns and dedicated to Luke. Hey, I don't think he's gonna do too well.
You might be right if he was playing last year's defense.
Hey, if he want to go that route, he can go that route. Hey, I'm not mad at him. I just caught a bass, as you said. You are going fishing. I think I'm going. I don't know. I'm going with some friends. I haven't been fishing since I was a kid, so I think we either going bass or salmon. It's one of them two. I don't know. I know it's one of them two. So I hope it's bass because I love bass and I would love to get as much of that as I could. So let me see. It's because they took a wide receiver. So Andrew think that the Seahawks are absolutely nuts. He don't care that they had 3 picks. They should have took an offensive lineman and not took it. But he can't name me who's the receiver past DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Nobody can name me that. So I think they made the right decision. Andrew, you something else, bro. Any other questions or any other things you want to talk about real quick, Motor City Thanos, before we jump up out of here?
No, I think we pretty much covered most of it, man. I'm good. Like I said, I'm happy with overall with what we did in the draft. For the most part, I really think truly that this time around we are headed in the right direction. Obviously, we can't fix everything in 1 year, so let's just hope that these dudes are as nasty within the rules as possible and willing to learn and grow and get better, and the team will continue to head in the right direction.
I appreciate it, man. Jimbo G, he ain't letting it up. That's just one game, Luke. 200 to 300 yards in one game. Okay. Laughing out loud because they don't need a third receiver. Okay, who's the third receiver then? They didn't take that guy. I'm just saying. Listen, this is how I look at it, people. Y'all got to look at this differently. If you are upset with this draft, you should not be. The question is did they address the offense? They did. They got the receiver. They got an offensive lineman to help in that area. Did they address the defense? They did. They got D lineman. They got the linebacker. They got the cornerback / safety. Did they get more depth? Because we don't know what the hell going on with Carrion at the running back position. They did. They did it as a 7th-round pick with a guy who got vision, who also ran for 226 yards against who? The Oregon Ducks. There is a lot that they did. And then they go off into looking into the undrafted to add more receiver help because that's how deep this draft class was. People like Tamarian Terry out of Florida State didn't get drafted. I know some of y'all like to come up and bring to me about Khalil Mack because he didn't get drafted. He was garbage. But does that make Tamarian Terry garbage because he didn't get drafted? Some of y'all was in here telling me y'all wanted a Darius Washington. I told you at 5'8", he got to look like Bob Sanders. I didn't see a Bob Sanders. He went undrafted. I guess that means he's garbage. There are a lot of people that went undrafted that we thought were good players. People talk about, oh, he was so good. Why did he fall? Jabril Cox fell. And one of the biggest reasons that came up with the Jock pick was that they had an issue with his weight. They said that he was nowhere near that 215. They said he was more close to like 200 pounds. And that was not going to work for them. And the fact that he couldn't get off blocks. But they go out and get a linebacker who is big, and Derek Barnes, and he showed that he can play all 3 positions. So I'm not killing them on this. If you are upset in any form or fashion, you shouldn't be. If you thought this team was going to suck, similar to what the NFL.com power ranking said, which they said that, this team is going to be the worst team in the league next year. If you believe that, you really shouldn't be mad because you never had high expectations anyway. If you have high expectations, you can bet your bottom dollar they won't be the worst team in the NFL. They just won't. And I'm just telling you right now, there's going to be a difference in the way that they go about doing things and how they're handling their business. So I guess what I'm saying to this. Let's get into these final thoughts real quick. Motor City Thanos, I got to definitely get you back on, man.
Love to do it, man.
It says, what about Jacques Luke? Why you think he fell? Let me see. Luke, the undrafted guy you mentioned, both got picked up right after the draft. Oh, you talking about Terry and Washington? I'm just saying, y'all remember that? I've been to this day, I still got people like Dolo Dynamite who be like, look, and he's still in the NFL. A lot of people ain't in the NFL. TJ Edwards went undrafted. I'm still trying to figure out. Bo Ben Shaw, who's now on the Washington football team, went undrafted. There's people who are good, talented players that go into the wrong draft that year. Amar-Ra St. Brown should not have been a 4th-round pick. I'm glad we got him.
That's right.
I'm glad we got him. I'm just being honest.
I love the highlights they showed on him too.
Man, listen, I was live showing him just the route running, bro. The first play I showed of him was him bodying the cornerback out of bounds. That was the first.
That's a play. That's a play on softball. That's what I'm saying. Because I was like, wait a minute, is this dude a wide receiver or a corner? Just the physicality of him pushing my man out of bounds.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I heard Barnes can't cover. Any thoughts on that? I mean, to me, is he known as a coverage linebacker? No. But has he been in coverage? Yes. Is he going to be stellars and lights out? No. Most linebackers who come out are not cover linebackers. They just not. And the ones who are cover linebackers, they lack in other areas that you would probably want your linebacker to have in the run game. So it just depends on how you picking your poison.
Yeah, that's what I would speak on with the Barnes. If you say he's not a coverage, well, if he can stop the run, if he can blitz the quarterback, and he's really good at those things, then guess what? Put him out there on run plays.
but the difference is this. Can you say this about Jock? Can you say Jock can play all 3 linebacker spots in DN? You can't say that. You just can't say that. Some people even said they had Jock labeled as I was watching SpeakEZ, and he had the scout on, and the scout said that some teams had him labeled as a safety, a strong safety.
Yep, I saw that with SpeakEZ also.
So shout out to my man SpeakEZ. They said they had him labeled as a strong safety. I was like, oh, well, all right. Hamden said people forget that Cephas was actually a really good receiver. Another guy that you're going to see benefit from a lot of this stuff. I'm not saying that the team is going to suck. I just don't see a playoff team like some Lions fans. Well, I mean, it's 7 playoff spots, right? And the Bears got in at 8-8. So it's possible. It's very possible. But I do understand what you're saying.
I'm not either, but I like you just said a minute ago, I just don't see worst team in the league. People don't say the worst team in the league with Patricia, but you all suddenly see worst team in the league now. It's like, come on, man.
It's just funny to me. So Dolo Dynamite says thoughts on Sage Surratt. I thought Sage Surratt was the guy that I looked at from Notre Dame, but this the Wake Forest dude. I think he could be a special teams guy, but I got him as a practice squad guy along with the guy from Notre Dame, McKinley. Those are the 2 guys that I have as practice squad guys. I don't know if they break through, but do they have an opportunity for it? 100%, yes. Steve-O, does anybody think the Lions roster is worse than Jacksonville's or New York Giants roster last year? I don't at all. And that's the crazy part about how we're the worst team. I'm not going to get mad about it. They said they don't want to call it a rebuild. They prefer the term retool. They are the same thing.
At this point, I really don't care.
No, it's not.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, like I don't care, but they're not the same thing. A retool and rebuild are different. You know, when you rebuilding something, you are literally destroying something that was already built. What did we destroy that was built? like when you retool something, you're taking what is already there and you're just doing maintenance to make sure that it maintains and in such a way that it can be improved upon. In other words, so there's a difference between the 2.
I mean, if you want to call it a rebuild, then I'm telling you, this is how it is then with Matt Patricia and Brad Holmes, or Matt Patricia and Dan Campbell. Okay, Matt Patricia, abandoned building. All right, Dan Campbell tore that building down, building a new structure, and we're working our way up. Like, that's about the only way that's going to be a rebuild.
Yeah. Even Hamilton said they are not the same. They're literally different actions. I know they're nothing the same. Nothing about them are the same. St. Brown was my second favorite pick. Glad we could bring him to your attention. Yeah, the Durham brought him to my attention. And Detroit's own Big Will brought him to my attention very early on. And a lot of times I keep it very close to the brass where I won't say things because if I'm gonna do a video on them. And so I was going to do a video on them, but that's why I kept it close to the brass. And then when I finally did the video, that's what happened. Look, y'all hear my kids in the background.
Yep, I sent miles away. So
yeah. Let me see. Luke, do you think we didn't pick up Dylan Moss and Paris Ford and undrafted free agent? We had nothing to lose. They had off-field issues, and Dylan Moss had an injury history. So did Paris. And so I think what you saw with it was they said they didn't want no turds, and they are holding true to that. In other words, they don't care if you got a background or you got a pass or anything like that. What did you learn from that lesson, and what did you pick up from it? So I think that's what they got. Now I got to go and get my kids because they clearly, it's like, Daddy, bring your ass on. So let me get into my final. Oh, hold on, let me hit this one quick question because my man. Got to get him in the building. Can you go through the Lions' current receiving group? Yes, I can. Give me a second. I'll go through it right now. Just give me one brief second, and I'll do that. The reason I put this photo up there about the future being now is because not only is the future now, it's just more proof that the Lions are going to go in a way that I really think I could be wrong, but the Lions are going in a way that will now set them up for years to come to be successful. And it starts with us having the one thing we've been bitching that we never had, which is an offensive line. I could not be more ecstatic. I really couldn't. This is what you want to see, and it's what it should be in the first place. So right here is the Lions receiving core. And so Rashard Perriman, Tyrell Williams, Khalif Raymond, who I think is going to be special teams guy, but he's obviously there. You got Quintez Cephas, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Victor Baldwin Jr., Damian Ratley, who was another deep threat guy, Tommy Kennedy, Ellison Geronimo, a special teams guy. I don't know why John Atkins is right here, but this is a mistake on their part. It has to be. But as you can see, that's their receiving core. Is Tyrell Williams and Bashar is going to probably be on the outside. Cephas, Amar Ra is going to be on the inside. Khalif Raymond and Ellison Geronimo are going to probably be your special teams guy, with them carrying the seventh guy. I think it's probably going to be Damon Ratley or some other guy. These three going to have to battle it out. Baldwin, Kennedy, and Ratley and Ellison are going to have to battle it out for spots. But again, apparently this is kind of cool because Amar Ra brother is on the Packers.
Yeah, I heard that.
Like his father, the story behind their names is crazy. His father was like Mr. Olympic or something, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, the bodybuilding dude. And he wanted them to have names that were different. So he gave them all Egyptian names and stuff. And apparently this whole entire family is a bunch of dogs and athletes. And I'm like, yo, now I can't argue with the St. Brown on the Packers because I saw him run past Okudah. But then again, I think I can run past Okudah. So,
right,
because he's a safety.
4-3.
Yeah, he's a safety, in my, But yeah, this is it. Please don't hit me up talking about should we get Julio Jones? No need to trade draft capital for an Asian receiver.
No, I wouldn't do that. That's more of a we about to win Super Bowl now type move. If anything.
Hey, what can I say? So right, brother Chaz got drafted by Minnesota. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I forgot that. That's a dude from the North Carolina. I think there's the linebacker from North Carolina. So just putting it out there. Let me go ahead and get her in, people. Positive work. Give people your final thoughts for the day, man. I'm just happy we here, man. Enjoy the draft. Enjoy the piece. You can't be mad at this. There's nothing for you to be upset about. There's nothing to be mad about. So just simply just enjoy this. There's a lot going on. There's still a lot of work to be done, and they're not done. They're waiting to start doing it. Mark my words. We are exactly 9 minutes out, and I promise you're going to hear more news about free agents that's been signed by the Lions. They're not done, and that's because they're trying to win this year. But go ahead and give me your final thoughts, man.
Yeah. Well, for the most part, I pretty much did, but if I could, I would like to shout one of your guys out.
Go ahead.
Your guy Hook Cam, and the reason why I bring it up because I appreciate
that's my boy.
I appreciate his content, man, and I subscribed to him recently, like a month or so ago. Because like I said, I listen to you all the time. I listened to you when you came on with him, and I appreciate his objectiveness from the outside coming in, even when he has something that ain't flattering to say about the Lions. You can tell it's definitely objective versus somebody that's just trying to pile on and be a hater. So I definitely want to shout the Hook Cam out. I appreciate his content. Anybody that's not subscribed, I would recommend subscribing to the Hook Cam. He puts out real good content, man. So shout out to him.
100%. Him, like I said, me and SpeakEZ don't agree. Me and Randall, I'm going to figure out some kind of way to get him on the show because we really are Max Calimer and Stephen A. It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. But it is what it is. Today's positive quote comes from a GOAT. That's right. He's somebody who has done it, proven it many times before, and has said it over and over again. I'm talking about one Mr. Michael Jordan. He says, if you quit once, it becomes a habit. So never quit. Now, I had to think about this because I thought about my own self and I thought about the reality of it, which is, if you quit once, but then I think about it. Ain't that what we always do? We quit and say we can do it later. We can come back and handle this later. This can be done later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it in a month. I'll do it we just keep moving it back. And the reality is that every time you do that, you just add another quit to the record. Why not just actually stop quitting and start doing? Why not actually decide that, quitting has never been an option. There is no plan B to quit. Why not the only plan B should be to succeed, to push through whatever you have to do to get it done, to take another door instead of just saying, I don't like none of the doors, I'm going to walk away. Quitting does not serve a point at all. It does not fix anything. It does not help anything. You see, the GOAT was trying to let us know that the reason he was great wasn't because he can hit every shot on the court. No, not because he can make some amazing dunks. No, not because he can play defense. No, it was because he never knew the word quit. So I implore you guys today to learn that same word. Never, ever, ever, ever quit in anything that you're doing. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. I know I was early, but hey, what can I say? Time permitted it. I hopped on. I tried to put it out for enough notification, and we here. And as always, don't be no chump, ladies and gentlemen. Please do your research. We are out.